Larry Sharpe has traveled the country and has personally visited every county in New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharpe Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to
Hey,
Sharpe
it's
Way
former
Radio.
Navy SEAL Cade Courtley, and the next.
It is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, the voice of liberty. So happy to have you with me this afternoon. 585-346-3000 is the number. And there's a lot of stuff going on, as many of you know. And I started thinking about, how does this affect us here in New York State? And one of the things that's happening, you probably know, is there's negotiations going on. Now, often I've done negotiations for businesses or for my family or friends, whatever the case may be. And it reminded me of one story when I was dealing with my daughter in school. And in one case, it was a problem. She wanted to graduate using a certain type of system. I don't want to say it because I'm going to get people in trouble here in New York City. And I said, we should do that. And everyone at my daughter's school said, all the administrators said, no, you have to do X, Y, and Z because this matters for her regent's diploma, as if that matters. And they were very concerned. And they had lots of pushback. Told me I was wrong, couldn't do it. I went, okay. I made a couple phone calls. And everything was, well, you can't, well, you shouldn't, well, you can't, well, you shouldn't, all of that. And I said, I'm going to come in. And they're like, you don't need to come in. I said, no, I'm going to come in. So I go in. They wouldn't give me an appointment. And in New York City, you don't have a right to see your kids in school. I'm not joking. The city controls it, and you're whatever. I just showed up. Showed them who I was, said, I'm here to see the principal, blah, 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 blah. And they acquiesced. And she saw me. And I said, is this a rule or is this what you prefer? She went, this is how we do it. I said, is this a rule? Is this a law? Is it no way? Is there no way to make this work? Is that what you're telling me? And she's like, well, we had a conversation. And what she was concerned about more than anything else was that, one, I would shut up, which is why I'm not saying specifics. And then two, that she could cover her derriere and follow the rules. And I went, okay, here's a way that I can shut up. My daughter gets what she wants, and you get to follow the rules, and no one's in trouble. And boom, done, and everybody's happy. You might go, well, Larry, that's a great thing. I thought it was, but what did it take? It took someone to show up. It took someone to push the rules. It took someone to accept the other person also has to win. And it took someone to say, you can win. Just let me win too. Just let me win too. And we could both win. See that? That's the art of making things happen, or the art of, quote, the deal. Oh my God, I just did a Trumpism. Sorry about that, guys. But I did. Okay. Why would I bring up a Trumpism? Or Trumpism, sorry. A Trumpism. Because our governor, New York State, Queen Kathy, first of her name, banisher of conservatives, destroyer of businesses, worshiper of the jab, she has decided she's going to go down and meet Trump. That's a good idea. I know you might go, Larry, you don't like Her Majesty. Accurate. Doesn't mean it's a bad idea. Even people I don't like sometimes have good ideas. That's a good idea. Go down, talk to him. Why, Larry? Trump hates Hochul. Hochul hates Trump. Okay, probably true. But here's the thing to remember about Trump. Whether you like him or not, I know some people love him, some people hate him. Here's the reality. He's transactional. That's true. That can be good and it can be bad, but it's still true. He is transactional. So she went down there. Will he cut a deal? I think yes. I think he'll cut a deal. And here's why. He wants that pipeline. For those who don't know, there's a pipeline that goes from Pennsylvania into New York. It's called the Colonial Pipeline. It brings in, or supposed to bring in, natural gas into New York State. Now, of course, New York State has said, no, because fracking evil, gas evil, bad gas. That's the reason why. You might think, no, it's because bad gas. That's why. So he's like, maybe you could not stop that. And she's like, but gas bad. Yes. And so is tariff I'm putting on Canada, and Canada's putting on you because half of New York State's agricultural exports goes to Canada. Oh, yeah. People hadn't thought about that one. That's true. About $16 billion, give or take, something like that. I forgot what it is. It's a big chunk. It's over 10 billion, whatever that number is, over 10 billion. It's a ton of dollars that goes. And she's like, but I want congestion pricing. She does want congestion pricing badly. And supposedly he's supposed to end it coming up here on Friday, March 21st. It's over. Well, maybe he gives that. Maybe he goes, fine, take your stupid congestion pricing. Give me my pipeline. Maybe we could both. Or maybe you help me negotiate with the Canadians, because, to believe it or not, Hochul actually has a decent relationship with the Canadians. That's true. Maybe she goes over there and plays emissary and makes a deal with the Canadians so that now he doesn't have to do his tariffs. Maybe he does that. I'm making this up, but this is the concepts that we should be thinking about. Her going down there is actually a good idea. Larry, you're saying something good about Hochul. I am. It's true. It was a good idea. The question is, will she be savvy enough to accept a deal? That's my worry. Do I think Trump will make a deal? It is in his nature. It is in his nature to make a deal. So I think he's going to give her a deal. The question is, will it be good enough for her? And will she take it? If she'll take the deal, this could be win-win. It could be. Now, some people will be unhappy, like if you don't want the pipeline or if you want congestion pricing or something, you might be. But I'm looking at a bigger picture. What's the second reason why I think she might make a deal? She needs the money. As I've been talking about here for literally years, New York State's plan for all of its problems is only one thing: federal money. It was for 4 years, Uncle Joe will write me a check. And to be forward with Uncle Joe, Joe Biden did write checks to New York State every year. That plan actually worked because he just kept writing checks. Well, Uncle Don, he may not write that check. He's like, I don't know. What you gonna do for me? Should I write you that check or not? And that's why I think a deal might be made. Is it possible that Hochul will be hardcore and try to fight Uncle Don, and say, I'm the one who fights Trump. I'm gonna hold off? I think it's very unlikely. If you see what happened, the Democratic Party said, we need someone to fight Trump because we are broken. Our fighters look terrible. You see the people who are supposed to be our fighters, they've walked away. They're like, I don't want to fight this guy now. He's too popular. And Trump is relatively popular now than he's ever been. And compared to others, he is. That's true. Gavin Newsom's off doing podcasts, which, by the way, also a brilliant idea. Don't fight Trump. Go do podcasts. Smart move. Wait until Trump's not as popular, then come out and try to fight him. Better move for you, right? If I'm a Democrat, I'd be thinking the same way. So smart move for him. So they threw Hochul in front. And she, of course, sadly, not being as bright as many of the other Democrats who are actually very bright. All wrong, though, but still bright. She's not that bright. She goes, I'll fight him. I'll take my knight, Tish James, the Kingslayer, and we'll take care of him. Where is Tish James? I haven't seen her fighting. I didn't see her in the field at all. Did I miss something? I don't know. Would I miss? I thought she was going to be in the field fighting Trump. I thought she was suing them and beating them in court. That's what I thought. I haven't seen that yet. Maybe it's a secret stealth mission. I hope so for her sake. Otherwise, Kathy got left out in the cold. Now, if Queen Kathy's left out in the cold without her champion, without her knight, without Kingslayer, what are you going to do now? I can tell you. You can negotiate a truce, which is why she went to D.C. to negotiate a truce. Now, the problem is he probably already made her a deal, and she didn't know if she should take it or not. So now she's coming back to talk to her people and going, all right, is Kingslayer out there fighting, or did she bail on me too, like all the rest of these Democrats? Did they all bail on me? Am I out here in the field by myself? And they're going to be like, yeah, you're out there on your own. It's just you. Your Majesty, Queen, it's just you. All your bannermen have fled. All your bannermen have fled the field. What are you going to do now? She's going to be like, okay, let me take this deal. But if she comes back and I go, no, the army is with us again. Our bannermen are fighting. All take evil Orange Man. If that's happening, she may fight back. She might fight back. It's possible. But my gut says, if I had to guess, she's going to make a deal. And she's going to make a deal where she can say, see, I still won. See, because of how bad Trump is, Trump did the bad thing, and now I got the best deal I could fighting the evil man Trump. And Trump will also say he won. See, New York thought they could fight me, but they can't. I'm the super cool Trump guy, and now I have won the battle, to get gas into New York or whatever. My gut says they're going to make a deal. Trump is already saying she's a nice lady. He's already saying that she's not bad. He's doing that because he wants to make a deal. It's in his nature. I think Hochul has to. But I guess we'll see. Do you think I'm crazy? Yeah, probably am. But do you think I'm right? That I know I am. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe on Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
For the last couple of years, Joe Robach has been telling you about Flower City Collision in Henrietta, saying that it was started by a veteran along with his son, Zach. Hi, my name is Greg Sadwick, and I am that veteran. I want to thank the WYSL listeners for their support over the last couple of years. During those years, not only have I experienced the gratification of providing you the best repairs and customer service, it has also allowed me the opportunity to see my son develop as a young professional. So remember, Flower City Collision for your collision repair needs. And thank you for supporting our locally owned family business.
Most banks offer you a choice. Or maybe it would be better to say they demand a choice. Technology so you can bank like you want to, or relationships so you can get advice when you need it. But when you choose to bank with Tompkins, you can have it all. Powerful technology and the power of a face-to-face talk about your future. Because both are part of the best banking relationship you'll ever have. Tompkins, your bank of choice. Open an account today at tompkinsbank.com.
Only available in the WYSL store at WYSL1040.com. Official top quality tees, hoodies depicting the colorful WYSL logo or the already famous Mount Rushmore line of merch depicting Mount Rushmore style are for worst presidents. Of course, you know who is front and center up on that mountain. WYSL official items make perfect gifts, or they're a great way for you to make a personal statement. Locally produced and sold only in the WYSL store at WYSL1040.com.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
We need you all to head back into the boardroom now.
I've just been given some very disturbing news. Clear violation of the rules. You're fired.
Trump making deals. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, the voice of liberty, 585-346-3000. Look, I've been talking about making deals. And you might go, Larry, what about, Democrats, Republicans, what people actually think, their policies? These all matter, I guess. But what actually matters is, how do we move forward here in New York? And I want to grab a couple of comments because I know some people are concerned about this. Let me grab a couple of comments if I can. John says, I haven't seen any updates, but if past decisions come into play, she'll be too caught up in her pride to work with Trump on anything, to work with Trump on everything. This piece, John, is my concern. You've read my mind. Do I think Trump has or will give her a deal? Yes, again, I think it's in his nature, right? He wants to have a deal. He wants to be a deal maker. He prides himself on this. And he wants to say, look, I did it. I made it work. Of course. Will she do it? Now, her pride, I've heard that her pride is very high. And you can see it in how she speaks, how she deals with everything. You can see it. The question becomes, will that pride be strong enough to get in the way of her making a deal? I think you're right. I'm not sure. Right? I'm not sure. Mike thinks it's a done deal. She says Hochul has no choice. Deal or jail, as she's abetting a crime by pushing sanctuary state. That's a fantasy. She's not going to jail, Mike. Not a thing. Not going to happen. I guarantee you that. Bet you any amount of money you want. There's no jail. I remember years ago when I think it was maybe right before the 2020 election, there was a bunch of right-wing guys talking about there's going to be indictments coming down and blah. And I was like, never going to happen. That's a story you're telling yourself. Never going to happen. You might not like Hochul. I'm sorry. You don't. I don't either. But the point is, she's still part of the establishment. She ain't going to jail. That's not a thing. If Cuomo didn't go, she's not going. Never going to happen. Not a thing. Impossible. Never going to happen. Now, will there be a backlash? Yes. The question we have to realize here is, it doesn't matter how bad Hochul is. I know if you're in New York, you just fell out of your chair. But it doesn't. Why? The state is almost 3-1 Democrat to Republican. The Republicans have been leaving this state. Conservatives have been leaving this state in droves, 300,000 a year. The state's getting bluer. In fact, for those of you who don't want to hear this, and be very forward with you so you know where we are here in this state, which is why I fight so hard. Now, at this point, if you were to remove New York City from New York State, the state is still blue. That is how blue this state is. So Hochul does have a choice. The choice is have people be mad at her. But if she's strong enough within the Democratic Party, which she's very strong in the Democratic Party in New York State still, not nationally, but New York State, she's still very strong here. A lot of people rely upon her for jobs. I mean, thousands. So she's still very strong here. If she wins the primary, she's the governor. Why does she care? The idea of having no choice is wishful thinking. She has a choice. The question is, what does she believe? Does she believe that she's so awesome and so good because of John's point, because of her pride, that she's so strong that she can defend herself with or without Kingslayer, with or without her knight, that she can defend herself with that she can stay in power? That's not crazy to think, particularly with her pride. She does have a choice. Her pride or get a deal done. Now, if she gets a deal done, she can spin that too. As she got one over on Trump, see, she beat him. I mean, she'll spin that. Of course she will. And Democrats who love her will accept that story as true because they want it to be true. They want to have someone who beat Trump up. We got the orange man. They'll totally believe it. So I disagree completely. She absolutely has a choice, and there's no way she's going to jail. No way she's going to jail. I'll bet you any amount of money. Name the amount. Yes, she's not going. No way. So, yeah. All righty. Let me keep going down here if I can. John goes on to say, if they don't allow you to see your kid, one could argue it's kidnapping. I'm not sure where that's going. Oh, got you. The school thing. Yes. Took me a second, John. Thank you. I got that. Yes, you could, but you can't. Because according to them, they actually own the kid. So if I took the kid out, it'd be kidnapping. That's the crazy part, John. In their minds, they own your kid, right? The kid is owned by the state. That's how they think. Now, to be forward, that's utterly immoral and not true. Doesn't mean they don't think it. So in their eyes, no. You taking your kid? You kidnapping. That's how that works. So yes. Cat on X says, I hope you give Kathy a nickname that makes her eye twitch. I hope Trump gives Kathy a nickname. Here's the thing about Trump. And some of you are mad at him for not attacking Putin so much. Why is he not attacking Putin so much? Why is he not giving him a terrible nickname again? Why? Because he's currently trying to make a deal. That's why. That's how he works. Remember with Kim Jong-un? He hammered Kim Jong-un, called him Little Rocket Man. Remember that? Beat him up. Then, wouldn't make a deal. He stopped. Said, oh, no. Good guy. Wrote me a nice letter. Remember that? Didn't make a deal. He would yell out Kathy all day long. But now, he wants to make a deal. So he stops. This is, again, the good and the bad with Trump. You could see it either way. He is transactional. It's like, oh, we're making a deal? I'm going to shut up now. Let's make a deal. Oh, we're not making a deal? Let me call you names. That's literally how he is. So, Kat, I don't think that will happen now. In fact, he said the opposite. He said she's a nice woman, remember? That's what he said. He's making a deal. When the deal's done, who knows, right? He might change his mind. So, any case, I don't think I will see that at all until or unless there either is no deal or he makes a deal. So I think that's where we're going. Dave says, no one wants pipelines in their backyard. Texan Trumplicans want pipelines in other people's backyards in Iowa, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Yeah, I think most people, that's right. They are correct. But this is the problem. And I'll give you an example that's happening right now, or we're seeing the results of it right now. Kathy Hochul and New York State government, they don't actually care about your property. That's not a thing. They don't care about your feelings about your property. That's not a thing. It's not that. The government cares about politics and cash. That's what they care about, politics and cash. An example I'll give you is Utica, the no hospital downtown people. They literally destroyed over 40 businesses in Utica. The government, state government came in to put a hospital in there. Eminent domained them, took them all, trashed everything, destroyed an entire neighborhood, wrecked Utica doing it. Why? Did people want it? No. They did anyway. They didn't care. So I'm not saying you're wrong that the people don't want it. What I'm saying is Hochul doesn't care about that. That's not her issue. That's not Trump's issue, right? Their issue is, does it make sense for my politics? If it happens to be your backyard, I guess it's your backyard then. They will use my backyard as an excuse to not do it if they don't want to do it. So again, Dave, you are correct. The people don't want it and they don't care. They will use the people don't want it as an excuse if they also don't want it. But if they want it, they will call these people selfish. We see it all the time. So yes, and doesn't matter. And isn't that crazy? Shouldn't it matter? Shouldn't your private property mean something? I mean, it should. Doesn't. You can tell me if you want. 585-346-3000 is the number. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, the voice of liberty in amazing Western New York. Back with your calls and the chat. I see you. I'm grabbing as much as I can after the break.
God bless America.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon, Rochester. WLEA WCKR FM, Cornell.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. Mainly clear skies, not as cold. We'll stay in the 40s to near 50 on Wednesday. A gorgeous day. Get out and enjoy it. Plenty of sunshine. Temps should get up into the 60s and low 70s. On Thursday, we'll turn a little breezy. Rain showers come through, maybe a rumble of thunder. Temps briefly near 60, then turning colder in the afternoon. I'm Rich Canilia for the Voice of Liberty.
Canisteo Valley Update.
Last Thursday, a suspect in a child rape case in Hornell. A 54-year-old man from Hungary was arrested at Newark International Airport in New Jersey. There was going to be a court hearing in New Jersey today about whether to bring 54-year-old Mahaly Bodner back to Steuben County. Hornell Police Chief Ted Murray.
Since he's not in New York State, he's in another state. He has a right to a hearing in that state, and it would be up to him to waive extradition and come back to New York State. Or if he doesn't do that, then the district attorney's office would have to apply for a governor's warrant to bring him back.
Now, the suspect, 54-year-old Mahaly Bodner, almost boarded a plane and got away, but thanks to quick investigative work by Hornell Police Sergeant Tom Ianni and cell phone tracking by Hornell Police Sergeant Dan Murray, Homeland Security was able to pick up Bodner before his plane took off. Brian O'Neill for the Voice of Liberty.
When you think chicken, think Stearns Poultry Farm Stores. Stearns Poultry Farm Stores with 2 locations, Seneca Street, Hornell, and Route 244 in Alfred Station. Stearns, the best chicken in these parts.
So the Alfred Sun was started in 1883 by Frank Crum.
Quite frankly, it was a crummy newspaper.
Well, when it started, the Allegheny County Democrat newspaper said, quote, "The Alfred Sun is as lively as the hind legs of a mule and as sharp as the weapon of a hornet, and that it should shine and kick and sting to the end of time," end quote.
And it's still shining, still kicking, and still stinging after all these years.
Since 1976, it's been operated by Dave Snyder.
Yeah, and it seems to get Snyder every week it's published.
It comes out every Thursday.
Yep, in Alfred, the Sun comes out once a week. You'll find local news, local opinion, local obituaries, news of the colleges, news about the Alfred Almond community, plus cartoons, puzzles, weather, and sports.
Pick up a copy today. The Alfred Sun is on sale now at Walmart, Wegmans, 7-Eleven, Dollar General, and Arkport Surefine. The Alfred Sun. Pick up a copy today.
Are you looking to update the kitchen, bath, or flooring in your home? Whether it's cabinetry, carpeting, hardwood flooring, tile, or kitchen and bathroom remodeling, Claridge Design Center in Chilai Paul Plaza is the place to start. At Claridge, the visions and ideas you have for your home are developed with the experienced Claridge designers to make your dream project a reality. And the quality of service you receive at Claridge is second to none. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call Claridge at 889-5800 or visit their website, ClaridgeDesignCenter.com.
Most banks offer
We have a caller, Mike.
Or maybe it would be better to say they demand a choice. Technology so you can bank like you want to, or relationships so you can get advice when you need it. But when you choose to bank with Tompkins, you can have it all. Powerful technology and the power of a face-to-face talk about your future. Because both are part of the best banking relationship you'll ever have. Tompkins, your bank of choice. Open an account today at tompkinsbank.com.
Stay ahead of unplanned repairs on your home heating system with a winter home comfort special from Turnbull. Let them help you get through the winter. Get $500 off a brand new heating system when you schedule a free, no obligation estimate with Turnbull Heating and Air before March 31st. Or call Turnbull before March 31st and get your furnace cleaned for just $98. Get peace of mind and stay cozy. Turn to Turnbull.
You'll be comfortable with the best. Turnbull Heating and Air.
If you own your own business and need garbage removal, contact Lippincotts. And if you live in a town where you have to take care of your own garbage removal, contact Lippincotts. If you need garbage dumpsters, Lippincotts rents them, and Lippincotts can come pick up the garbage too. These days, you don't throw old electronic items in the trash, and Lippincotts can remove your old electronics. Lippincotts, for garbage removal, recycling, hauling, removal of asbestos or electronic items. For a free quote, visit LippinCottsRubbishInc.com. LippinCottsRubbishInc.com.
Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten Free Bakery has a great deal on Tuesdays. A large 4-topping pizza for $18, regular or gluten free. Call 226-9575. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten Free Bakery in Avon.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, the voice of liberty. 585-346-3000 is the number. So happy to have you with me this weekend. Nick says, I think that you're correct. Politics make such strange bedfellows. Pun not intended. Agreed. People do make deals. Let me see what our phone call is saying. I have Mike on the line. Mike, how are you?
Hey, Larry. Hey, I'd like to make a couple points.
Okay.
Trump is going to get this pipeline through. He's doing the carrot and the stick on poor Kathy there, okay? And she's too stupid to realize it. So he's going to be sweet to her, say, hey, let's put this pipeline. It's good for New York. She's a narcissist. She's going to say no because I don't want you to have a gas stove. Trump is going to go, okay, honey, no problem. He is going to go to the other governors in the Northeast, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, who need that pipeline for the natural gas. He's going to go to all those and say, hey, the wicked witch down there wants you to freeze your butt off in the winter. I could get the pipeline. You need to talk to the wicked witch and tell her to suck it up.
So you think he's going to use other Democratic governors to get her to say yes?
Oh yeah. He's gonna. You know what? He could actually bulldoze it through if he really wants. He could deregulate the EPA. He could bulldoze it through. But that's the final. I can't get it no other way. So he's gonna coerce the other governors to go, Kathy, hey, honey.
Okay, but hold on, Mike. Let me give you some pushback on this. A lot of those governors are Democratic governors. Why would those Democratic governors side with Trump over Kathy Hochul?
Money. Everything comes down to money. If those governors can now say, especially, I don't know which ones are up for election, but now they can say, hey, look, we need to bring our gas prices down, our natural gas prices in our state. And you know what? We'll be cooperative a little bit, and we'll talk. Well, the slay to go. They'll go. Well, we talked with Kathy Hochul, and we decided that it was great for the Northeast to have the pipeline come up.
Maybe ideology is an issue here, right? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying ideology does matter, and in some of these states, as long as you win the primary, that's all that matters. Like, there's no chance for someone else to beat them. So as long as within the Democratic elites, and the problem is the Democratic elites, they're just going to be anti-Trump. They're not going to care about those prices. They have tons of money. They're all elites.
Well, Trump is going to run it through. It doesn't. You know what? He's going to. I'm just telling you, this is the strategy.
I see your point. Okay, Mike. Now I'm getting it. You're saying Trump is going to run it through anyway, why not them get something good out of it if he's going to run it through anyway?
Well, he's gonna look. If you have ever read The Art of the Deal, okay,
and
studied it, okay, I have, just out of curiosity over the last decade or so. This is all part of a strategy. You know what? I'm gonna try being nice. And you know what? At the end, Trump's got the power. Is like, listen, I had no other choice. Okay, the people in the other states are freezing. We need them. We need the energy to lower the economy. Hey, one other point I want to bring up while we're talking about New York State. What do you think of Schumer and your girlfriend AOC there?
She is my girlfriend. She is my congressman. That's true. She is my congressman. No, I'm telling you, I said it last week, and I believe it. They were floating the idea of a coup against Schumer. The Democratic Party knows that he is a weak leader. He's not who they need. He's failing miserably. And they're trying to see if they can get rid of him. They've been trying to often, this isn't the first time they're trying to get rid of Schumer, but they thought this might be the chance. So they used AOC to kind of float that idea to see if she would attack him and to see if it would land. I don't think it's working, but this is their attempt. They're trying again. Hey, AOC, say something bad. See if this takes hold. See if we've got some grassroots to get rid of him. And she said, fine. Yeah. And she did it. And I don't see it right now. Right. I think it's failing. It has failed in the past. This isn't the first time, but I do think it's failing. That's what it was. And it wasn't so strong. And AOC is still popular. So if it fails, doesn't affect her. But if it begins to gain traction and all of a sudden, people like Schumer's got to go, let's get rid of him, then AOC helped the coup and she'll get credit for that. That's all that's about.
Oh, hey, do you think the cabal in New York City keep Schumer around? All of his
yes. Yes. I think
friends?
Right now Schumer's still he's strong enough politically to stay. I think so. But now he did cancel his book tour because he didn't want to be yelled at. So one thing it did do is it did show him that he does have some problems. It did show him that clearly because he had to cancel his book tour. Because if he would go out on his book tour, he'd be harassed the entire way through. So he's canceled that. So he will probably have to give some form of concessions in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how. My gut says he will have to give up the spotlight as much because he always wants to be the guy who reads his stupid garbage to everybody. He has to be that guy. I think he'll give some of that up and put somebody else in the limelight. That is what my gut says he will surrender to make this work. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
There we go. Thanks for the call, Mike.
All right, thanks.
All righty. So yeah, I mean, it's a big issue. And New York, for those of you who don't recognize, New York basically runs Democratic politics now. We have the most popular, the people who are most out there, and we run both the Senate leadership and the House leadership. Both comes out of New York. So New York is running Democratic Party right now. The Californians have kind of walked away. Newsom is doing some other stuff. He's out there doing other things. And even Shapiro is lightly touching. He's not being hard here. So yeah, I do think that's an issue. So anyway, Nico, speaking of Gavin, says, oh shoot, Gavin Newsom's next episode came out. It's with Tim Walz. Tim Walz has a chance to be a mover and a shaker here. The problem is that's not who he is. If he was a different person, different universe, Marvel universe, we change the universes, he has a chance to turn around and say, man, did I make a mistake? Harris was a bad idea, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if he'll do that. Newsom might get him to say that maybe, but that's the only way, right? That really is the only way. He's got to kind of turn on that. So yeah, any case, Mastermind Hour says, you can attract more flies with BS, you know what that stands for, than you can with honey. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes that's true. John says, truth. He hammers Zelensky for a minute. Now that there's a deal being worked out, he's keeping his mouth shut until it's done. This is my point with him. Again, I know a lot of you like him, a lot of you don't like him. Doesn't matter how you feel about him. This is who he is. He is transactional. And when he wants a deal, oh, okay, we're dealing. Whatever, I'm quiet. Whatever. Let's get this deal done. That's what he's worried about more than anything. Because he wants to, on the end, he wants to come out at the end as the victor, as the guy who made it happen. That's how he works. So again, you can like him, not like him. It's still true, right? It's still how it works. Kat goes on to say, I mean, even Gavin admitted on his new podcast that we're going to need nuclear power and diversifying our power sources is crucial. Yes, this is the issue that I've been talking about. Yes, it's true. The question is, can you say it politically? And Newsom is savvy. Again, I'm going to be very clear. I am not a Gavin Newsom fan. He is a terrible governor. Terrible governor. All I'm saying is he's savvy and smart. He is. He's savvy and smart and has great hair on top of that. So he's doing what he thinks is best, which is now saying, I can admit this, so I will. He's flooding the zone with this stuff. Just like you saw Trump flood the zone when he first came aboard with all the things he did, Newsom is now flooding the zone with these podcasts, and it's working. Some of you don't even know this. Some of you do. Michelle Obama has a podcast. Yeah. She said, Gavin did it. I'll do it. I'll be great. People love me. And the word people was incorrect. Democratic establishment loves Michelle Obama. And I mean loves her. She is not going to run for office. Smart for her again. Michelle Obama also not a dumb person. She's like, I'm not doing that. But you guys want me to go on a podcast and be popular? Okay, I'll go do that. The problem is Michelle Obama isn't as savvy as Newsom is in politics. She isn't. She can work a crowd. If it's a Democratic crowd and Michelle Obama gets in front of it, those Democrats are going to go nuts. They love her. Great crowd for her. But now against a crowd that's not for her, not her skill set. Not her skill set. So what is she doing? She's doing podcasts with other Democrats. Who's watching it? People who love Michelle Obama. That's it. She's growing nobody. She's growing nothing. That's why half you listening never heard of it. She actually has one too. You would think the former First Lady, Michelle Obama, superstar, would have a much more popular podcast than Gavin Newsom. And if you thought that, you would be wrong. Because Newsom is doing what he should be doing. He's savvy. Well, again, Michelle Obama can rock a crowd of Democrats. I give credit where credit is due. If you're running a Democratic fundraiser, if you can get Michelle Obama, you'd be crazy not to get one because she is going to clean that room out. Well done. But you want someone who's going to cross over and talk to other people who are not Democrats and be able to go back and forth with people who have different views? She's not your person. Find somebody else. And they haven't figured it out. They thought her celebrity would be enough. They've learned nothing. There is no doubt that whether, again, you wanted to vote for Harris or not, the woman had celebrities all over her. She had Beyonce, Oprah. She had all the celebrities. And it didn't matter. Celebrity isn't enough. And Newsom figured that out because he's savvy and smart. But the rest of them, they haven't. That's the problem. So thank you for that, Kat. I appreciate that. Guys, I hope I'm giving you information that makes sense. I hope I'm giving you some inside baseball to how this works. I'm trying to not just do left-right paradigm. I hope I'm showing you how they're all thinking, even when they're wrong, even when they're bad, because it affects us. Am I crazy? Am I wrong? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe on Sharpe Way Radio, the voice of liberty, back here in awesome Western New York. I'll be back with more of your calls and your chat after the break.
Donald Trump and conservatives may have won, but you know the left will unceasingly try to undermine society and spread evil, targeting the innocent and God-fearing, especially our children. Help promote a truth-based society and try something different in 2025. The WYSL stations can grow your business, professional practice, or organization, so allocate your ad dollars here. Reach our huge audience, entertained, inspired, and informed by leading conservative thought. Affordable, effective. The WYSL stations, the voice of liberty. Call 585-346-3000 to advertise.
I'm Greece Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Joe Robach. If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Greece Regional Chamber. We are the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we are better together, and together we can move your business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today. You'll be glad you did.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and
Okay, we got Roger.
specializing in pre-owned firearms and repairs. Get your rifle, shotgun, or pistol serviced and tuned before you take it to the field. Open from 10 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Avon Gun, East Main Street, next to Tompkins Community Bank.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes. It is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, the voice of liberty in Western New York. So happy you give me a small chunk of your afternoon. I want to go through a couple quick comments if I could. Gene says, I have a friend here in PA who loves AOC. A lot of people do, right? I mean, I can say that even though I'm not a supporter. Kat says, true, Gavin's hair is undeniable majesty. Accurate. We don't have to like the people to be realistic here. And lastly, Mike says, Michelle Obama failed. 25,000 views online. She's not a celebrity outside of committed Dems. He is correct. If you are running a Democratic fundraiser and the room is full of Democrats who can give money, she is the best person to bring. She is going to clean that room out for you. Awesome. If you're not doing that, Mike is right. That's not the woman you want, right? You want her for specific things. She's great at her specific things. But yeah, outside of that, not the person you want. Let me grab a call if I could. This is Roger. Roger, how are you?
Good. So here's the thing. He's going to have a hard time battling a pipeline through New York because, one, we have the forever wild clause in our state constitution where, like, certain land has to remain undeveloped and pristine for, environment and all that stuff. Not to mention the fact that I looked at a map and it showed you the states where the federal government owns like most of the land. From the Midwest going west, most of those states are federal land states.
Yep, true.
But if you go
or Native American. Yes.
Exactly. You go east, it's like 1% per state is federal land.
Yep.
Whatever the case is. I don't really know how that's going to work. However, I need to be in that room with Trump and the governor, Larry, to be talking to get them to be like, hey, you need to be talking about thorium-based nuclear reactors for power. Later to this oil stuff.
Yes, 100%, my friend. That is, and again, if you saw what was it Kat who said it? I think she said that. Newsom even mentioned that nuclear power is an answer. I agree with you. I think, and if I remember right, the Chinese put one online last year. Is that right? Do you happen to know that?
Yeah, I believe it sounds familiar.
Yeah. So you're right.
Yes, it did. And here's the thing. It can't be shareholder owned. It has to be stakeholder owned by the community as a cooperative.
Another call on hold.
Because they're going to make
the idea, because this is the part I love about that. If you make it owned by the local people, they have literally a reason to make it successful, a reason for it to be there, a reason to sell more because they'll get a cut. And then the average person gets one, and you lower the NIMBY issues, right? The not in my backyard. You're like, no, please in my backyard. I get a check, I'm in. Let's do this. I agree with you, Roger. That's a great idea.
And it's self-regulatory because they're a frontline community. They're going to make sure that thing remains safe.
You know what? I am actually literally considering putting that into my policies. That's a very good idea of adding that aspect to it. I love that. Thank you for that, Roger. I appreciate the call. Let me grab another call if I can. Who is this?
Craig,
how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Larry?
What's going on?
Well, I wasn't going to call in, but then Roger mentioned thorium nuclear reactors, and I said, well, I got to call in and say, yes, I agree. That sounds amazing. And Larry Sharpe's had a plan for those in the North Country for a long time. And that would reduce our dependence on Canadian electricity so that when Trump starts trade wars, we would be insulated from those as well.
Well, I agree, but the part that I hadn't thought about as much, like I've always supported the concept of co-ops. If people want to do that kind of thing, please enjoy as you see fit. But the idea of trying to open it up with local communities being able to get a piece of it, it would do a couple things. It would, again, as Roger says, ensures it will be safe because these are the people who are physically there. If it's not safe, they are directly affected. But it also brings more money into communities that don't have a very big tax base. So that would help tremendously, getting money into communities without having to tax people more. I love that idea. And it goes on to something else. If they all have ownership, they're going to want to work there. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to have good working conditions because they work there and they have ownership. They will also have control over those working conditions. Doesn't matter if you have a union or not. If you have a union, good. If you don't, also good. The people working there own it. They are going to make better working conditions because they have the decision-making power. So I like all those issues. That was the piece.
Yeah, I like all those issues too because it's self-regulating, which means the feds, when they come in and try to kick your door down for building that stuff, it looks even worse because it's like we already are doing this the right way. We don't need you.
And the local community's not going to want them there, right?
Yes.
The local community would only bring them in if there was some issue that they couldn't handle, right? Something happens where the local community can't handle it, they would then call the feds in. And look, if local people are asking for government help, I'm not mad at that. They're saying, I can't handle it. Government, please help me. It's like the fire department. I'm asking the fire department to come put my house out. No worries. So I do think it works. It's a good idea. I got to figure out how do I mix that in. But that's not a bad idea. But I even go one step further as I think about it. It might even draw more people to the area. People who would want to have better schools, people who want to have, more housing because they want more people to be there. It would increase the odds of people moving closer to work there, right? You'd want to live in the area so you can work there. And because you live there, you get ownership in it. So you would by default be creating a co-op just by moving there. Roger, thank you for that, brother. That really makes me
nicely done, Roger.
Nicely done, Roger. Nicely done. So yes, was that all you had, Craig? You just want to yell about nuclear?
Well, yeah. Well, and I just don't know. I'll be interested to see what the spin from Kathy is on all of this because she can't admit that she loves the Orange Man now, but she also needs all of his money. So I'm just waiting to see how she spins this one.
And that's why she didn't make it. That's why she hasn't made a decision on this yet. She's got to come back, talk to communication people, and figure out how to actually spin this thing, right? That's the issue. How do we spin this? So thank you, my friend.
If she does what she usually does, she'll ignore the communications people and just try to go off script and botch it anyway. So that'll be nice to watch also.
That would be fun to watch. Thank you, brother. Oh, my God. We can watch her just watch it, of course. Valerie says, Larry, you have smart callers. Must because you are too. Keep up the good work. Larry, we need you. What a wonderful way to end this show. Thank you, Valerie. I want to say thank you for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I will see you all very soon.
Hey, Larry, look at what I sent you on your phone. No, it's just for fun. See ya. You too, bye.